Island.
And that'll be important that he is involved making runs in behind the back line. And you've got extremely strong with Sanchez and Odarce in those wide positions. Look for them to get forward, especially Sanchez on that left side. Then you have Haribo off the left and Brito, as you mentioned, that will also help in that attack.
Rhode Island left to right, Portland right to left. These teams met twice in the preseason, a pair of draws. Now for the first time ever, it is Rhode Island and Portland in official competition. Got to chat with both coaches, Cano Smith for Rhode Island, Bobby Murphy for Portland, about what it means to have this already as a new local matchup. Can't call it a rivalry yet. Neither coach really used that word. Rivalries have to happen organically. You have to play each other in big competitions, in big moments, develop a history, but starting to see more and more of these regional matchups pop up now with USL's expansion in both League One and the championship, and this, the first edition between Portland and Rhode Island here in the Northeast.
But that's what you want. You want players, and as a player, you want that rivalry to start forming, and so to have those matches over and over, you get really excited about it.
Joe Brito looking through for J.J. Williams. Turned away by Sean Vinberg. Big skip off the slick surface here. Titus Washington latching on. Washington cuts it back. Ali Wright stumbles over it, gets his footing, floats it. Flag stays down. Only a chance here for Portland. Varela trying to post up centrally. Some contact there. Wada keeps his footing, finds the ball. And it's ushered out for a throw by Nadarce. So a frantic moment, and the crowd already being waved on by Michel Pounangeron.
Well, I think we got an answer there. They're going to look to go a little bit direct when they have those moments with Washington up top. You can see how he's looking already to penetrate in behind the back line.
Titus Washington, the 24-year-old, in his first pro season. Long throw dealt with by Rhode Island. Titus Washington spent last year at Seattle University. He's an all-conference player out there. Clay Holstead. A lot of contact there, and it'll come the other way. Neither of these teams have gotten off to the starts they were hoping for in USL play. Rhode Island coming into this one, a win, 2 losses, and a draw, 9th place in the Eastern Conference of USL Championship. Haven't quite yet found the form that carried them all the way to the USL Final last year. And on the other side, Portland, a 0-0 draw in their opener against Naples, 0-0 draw after that against Spokane, and a 2-1 loss against Tormenta. So yet to find their first USL win, despite their success so far in Open Cup.
And both of these teams having to be on the road for those games, that can play a major factor, and it's something you don't want to go too long with those tough stretches, but can definitely play a factor.
Into the area here for Okiyoshi, up for Nadarce. Centered by Nadarce, settled here by Rhode Island, and stops by Morse.
When you can already see by both of the teams, like with this slick surface, everyone's trying to force the issue just a little bit, force some mistakes, things like that, and it's going end to end really quickly and really early on.
Player down on the far side here for Portland Hearts of Pine. In quite a bit of pain, it looks like. Happened completely away from the play. Jaden Jones-Riley, I believe it is, down on that far side. Washington over to Wright. Ali Wright, good touch. Ali Wright tries to play it through. Had an eye up for Washington. Ended up more as a shot on target instead. Lee makes the stop. Wright does go for a goal, and it's saved by Lee. Oh, what a strike that was. Lee had to spring into action out for a corner. About 35 yards away.
Well, 2 free kicks, and it's Wright with the initial one. Lee does well just to make.
Wright. That'll do it for that attack for this Portland side, but they've been in some ways the aggressors here. The press has led to some deflection, has led to some moments.
They have really shown that they're not worried about settling in possession. They want to make Rhode Island uncomfortable. They're going to put pressure on it, and they're anticipating balls dropping and trying to win it immediately.
Holstead. The intensity's there every time the ball is loose. These Portland Hard-Supplying players are quick to it, stepping to it, posing a lot of issues for Rhode Island, who really haven't settled in much in terms of any sort of build-up play, possession. You expected them to have more of it, but it's only 53-47 right now possession-wise. They're making life difficult, Portland. Ollie Wright going for something spectacular, and it's less than spectacular, but he tried.
Yeah, he was optimistic. He was optimistic in that moment. But you're right. I think Harivo and Okayoshi, they would have to get on the ball to really establish some possession in the middle third. But there's a lot of numbers because Wright and Varela are tucking in and making it really hard to play through the central channel. So can they get it wide to Holstad and have him attack in the wide areas? That's something that they're probably going to have to adapt to.
If they do need to find more possession in the second half, Maxi Rodriguez is available on the bench for Rhode Island. So if this continues, this theme, that's probably who they'll turn to. Darce clears overhead. Harivo draws the foul. It was really a revelation after joining Rhode Island last year. Zach Harivo joined early July, ended up scoring a few goals off the bench as a spark for this Rhode Island team, including helping them out in the playoffs off the bench as that spark. Harivo brought down by Wada.
And I like that Harivo plays quick there. Yes, in some ways you want to slow it down, but they also want to touch the ball more, be on the ball more. And so moving it, making them shift, having them fatigue, that's what can open up gaps eventually. But really, Portland is just being really smart about how they're stepping. And this is just stepping in this moment. Harivo plays Brito right in. It's a hard step in that space in the midfield third. And you can see the Rhode Island players getting a little bit frustrated with that because there's multiple times. But this is what Portland's doing. They have energy and they want to step and condense space.
Shapiro Thompson out to Brito, served, back post, Holstead scores! Takes it perfectly out of the air, and Rhode Island strikes first.
And this is an incredibly big moment for Rhode Island because they've really been up against it. There's been a lot of pressure from Portland. They haven't had the opportunities. And sometimes you just need one moment. It's a great quick ball in. Shapiro Thompson plays in the outside area. The running on the backside from Holstad, well-timed, not marked tight enough in.
What happens when the higher division team goes up? Does the lower division team open up too much? Does one become two? Here's a free kick headed square. Still loose now. Struggling to clear their lines. The Darce does make it two. Compounding the issue for Portland, it's Frank Nadarce. Center back with a nose for goal, had 6 last season. Adds another now in Open Cup.
And again, this is all coming off these set piece opportunities, and the fouls are given up that by Portland, and it makes it extremely hard. So that is going to be how you defend. You know you're going to give up fouls, but you have to be able to clear lines in this moment. You can't give second chance opportunities to a team like Rhode Island. J.J. Williams just puts it in play. Right here, it's just a mistimed header on the.
And there is the whistle to end this first half. It was very tightly contested through a half an hour, and then Rhode Island strikes twice in the span of 3 minutes.
Well, it just feels like one of those games where it's going to be about just being gritty and making things happen, and Portland's going to have to do it in the second half.
Frank Nadarce in the 37th in what's sort of a 5-4-1-ish today. It's a very amoeba-like formation for Rhode Island. It's 2 defenders who get the 2 goals. We'll see what half number 2 has in store.
floats and goes. I would assume he'll have the responsibility of, with his talent, of figuring out where he needs to be in any given moment to put his foot on the ball.
See if he could combine a bit more with Okiyoshi, the other key piece in possession for Rhode Island, whose name we've said sparingly in this one. Rodriguez coming over after the last 4 years at Detroit City FC. Was the focal point of their attack last year with 10 goals and 5 assists. Here's Messer. Squared it back, poked away. Washington keeps it alive. Washington saved by Lee right at the keeper in the end.
Power, as you would hope if you're Washington. But this ball is played really well. Okiyoshi can't clear it right there. That's the footwork just to get around Rodriguez.
Hearts of Pine, 3 shots, 2 on target. Expected goals tally of .09. They haven't generated many dangerous opportunities, is what that tells you.
You do get the feeling, and we have throughout the first half and into the second half, that it's more about their pressing and maybe dispossessing Rhode Island out of the back or creating just some chaos going forward, because the possession piece, you're right, hasn't created the chances that they would have hoped for.
And that would all be...
Well, I think what we're starting to see in the second half, too, it's not lacking energy. The energy is still there, but there is some more play and interchange and some spells of possession that it's just still very, very fast-paced. But you're starting to see both teams be able to combine a little bit more and work more in possession to penetrate forward.
Space for Messer. Out to Ollie Wright. Wright looking for Washington, diving header away from Stoneman. Floated in again by Messer. Washington was trying to get up for it. The volley comes in, but well wide off the foot of Punanjaran. Langlois actually stepping up.
That was really good by Langlois. But what you're seeing is there's 3 natural center backs from Rhode Island that are in there. They're organized defensively, and only 2 runners, with Langlois coming as the third. So it's incredibly hard to be able to pick out your player in that penalty area when you've got Stoneman and Yao and Nodarse sitting in that central channel.
We asked Bobby Murphy just what needs to change and improve right now for this Portland side. While, again, they've gone 2 rounds through this tournament. They haven't won yet in league play. They haven't really scored all that much. 2 0-0 draws and a 2-1 loss. And his answer was simple. We said, we're just going to score more. And we asked how. And it's really just putting things together. They're not putting things together right now. Maybe they do so here, though. Washington off to the races. Goes for a goal and scores! Titus Washington gives Portland a pulse.
Well, you absolutely said it. Maybe it's Washington starting to get it going for Hearts of Pine. This is great. Early ball, backline's out of their back shape. Washington just puts his head down and says, I'm going to make a difference right here. I love the run.
When we last showed you the score, it was 1-0 Charlotte Independence over North Carolina. North Carolina scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. They're up 3-1 on Charlotte Independence.
And I love that Hearts of Pine is continuing to press, but they have to be very careful in these moments because this is the foul that's called right there. I mean, there's no way you're going to get the ball in that moment. Maxi Rodriguez has it completely shielded. This allows things to settle down, an opportunity, but also those yellow cards could come back to haunt them.
And plenty of them at the moment. Amos Shapiro-Thompson sends it long. Karifa Yao squares it, but nobody home. 15 minutes remaining. Portland Hearts of Pine have a goal in this second half. It came 10 minutes ago from Titus Washington. It's why they're alive right now. Back to a 1-goal game. Can they complete the comeback? Ask any coach, player in a situation like this when you're down 2 goals. You hope that the first goal comes before the 80th minute. Give yourself 10 minutes You figure usually second half stoppage time's around 4 or 5 minutes, and you get 15 minutes like that to find that second. Look out here, clear out challenge from Karifa Yao. And it's a free kick given, yellow card given as well.
Well, I'll be interested to see that again because it looked like a really good
I'm
challenge.
with you. I thought that was clean.
I thought it was pretty clean. I mean, maybe there was a dragging leg or something that our assistant referee saw. It's a hard challenge, but I think the angle looked good.
And I'm glad you said assistant referee because the center referee, Thomas Snyder, didn't look like he was going to call it initially until the assistant referee popped the flag. So you'll see it here again.
It's a good ball in behind, and I mean, it looks like he made contact with the ball. I think Yao would feel a little bit hard done by in that moment. It's just a very hard challenge from the center back. I like it.
I'm with you. I thought that was clean for my liking. So a free kick and a yellow. Maybe a bit of a surprise there for Karifa Yao. That's 4 yellows out there now for this Rhode Island side. Nadarce, Yao, Sanchez, so 3 on the back line. And then Shapiro Thompson in the midfield. And a free kick in a dangerous spot to boot. Messer stands over it with his left foot. We've seen him do a few wicked things with that left foot so far tonight. Does he think about testing Jackson Lee at his near post here with just a 2-man wall from this angle? And Lee's positioning as if he's ready to come out for a service. Does he test him near post? Messer does go for goal, and it's just over the bar.
Well, it looked like Lee, to your point, was cheating a little bit. Like, there's no way that from this angle it's going to go on frame. And, man, that was incredibly close. If he would have whipped it a little bit more, he might have caught him off guard. We just take a look at it right here, and it barely goes over the top. Lee looked a little bit uncomfortable in that moment.
That is one of my favorite plays in this sport. I love when it happens. That surprise near post free kick from a wide angle. It doesn't usually work. It's low percentage, but it's pretty when it does go in.
It gets everyone excited, though.
They have another free kick. Yes, they do. And another yellow card out there. Is it a sending off here? It is. It's Karifa Yao who picks it up. Wow. Back-to-back free kicks.
There's some confrontation there, and his boot goes up, and I can't even tell, I guess made eye contact with Wada there. Maybe that's a yellow, but the initial one, I don't know.
Looking for Washington. James tries to turn. He's taken down. He's out for a penalty. More contact there, and it goes against Portland in the end.
And look who was up there. It was Lopez, so maybe he heard us and got up there, but man, lots of challenges there.
And he's going to even the playing field. That's why these Rhode Island players were adamant in swarming the referee.
Nothing was called. This ball's played across right here. There's that tug, and then there's a mistouch. So Lopez decides to commit to it. He's just too late.
Looking long, in behind. Southern taken down. Is there one more free kick in this? Yes, there is. Drama builds in Lewiston beyond the 6 minutes given. Some of the time wasting within stoppage time gives this one last attack here for Portland. The goalkeeper, Hunter Morse, comes up as well.
There's just really no need for the foul in this moment, but they're very clever, the Hearts of Pine, of how they get their body in and just get enough contact to draw the foul.
Southern will take it. Has to happen here. Last kick of the ball for Portland. Goes short. James goes for goal. Saved by Jackson Lee. A corner. Will they have time to take it?
A little bit, probably needs to recover too, but a very good take from Nathaniel James, almost sneaking in that near post. Chances on that. Want to make sure that you get that around the outside.
This almost feels like a basketball game here late. Jackson Lee is down, so Portland's going to come over to the sideline. You almost wonder if Bobby Murphy's got a play drawn up here.
Maybe. Get the tactics board out. Trick play. Let's go.
Punanjaran floats it back in. The header is just off target. Open men there for Portland, and that might do it. Referee allows the throw to be taken. Shielded off by Quizera. And there is the final whistle. Rhode Island finally have their first ever Open Cup win. They were one and done last year.